In our second video about edge stitch techniques, I show you the sewing edge, the crossed edge and the structured edge. For the sewing edge, you just knit the first and the last stitch on the right side, and you purl the first stitch and the last stitch on the wrong side. So very easy. Purl the first stitch and the last stitch on the wrong side, and knit the first stitch and the last stitch on the right side. So this is purl the last stitch, and on the right side knit the first stitch and the last stitch. This is the result, a very even stitch with chains and knots. On one side chains, on the other side little knots. And of course you may also tighten this kind of edge by knitting and purling the stitches through the back loop. So I knit through the back loop the first stitch on the right side, knit through the back loop, and also the last stitch is knitted through the back loop. And on the wrong side, you purl through the back loop the first stitch and the last stitch. Purl the last stitch through the back loop. So this is the result for the sewing stitch, knitted and purled through the back loop. For the crossed edged, you stretch the second stitch a little bit, knit it first, and after you knit the first stitch and drop the 2 stitches off the left needle. You do the same at the end of the row, but now you knit the last stitch through the back loop and the stitch before through the front loop, and on the wrong side rows you purl the first and the last stitch. So on the front side rows you cross the first 2 and the last 2 stitches, and on the wrong side rows you purl the first and the last stitches. So I show it once again. Stretch the second stitch a little by pulling it out, then knit it first, then knit the first stitch, drop both stitches off the needle, and knit the last stitch first, but from the back loop, and then the stitch before through the front loop. This is the right side, and on the wrong side purl the stitches, purl the first one. I do it now through the back loop. So to tighten this edge stitch again, you may purl the stitches through the back loop on the back side, on the wrong side rows. This is the result. It's a very solid, a very compact edge, which you may use wherever you wear edges visible. And for the last one, the structured edge, you always purl the last 2 stitches together. That's a decrease, and therefore you have to increase the first stitch. You knit it once through the front loop and once through the back loop. So actually you are knitting it twice. And at the end of every row you purl together the last 2 stitches. So purl together the last 2 stitches and knit 2 out of the first stitch by knitting it through the front loop plus knitting it through the back loop. And here you see a very compact and solid edge, perfect for knitwear with visible edges. In the next video I'll show you how to work edge stitches with the brioche stitch.